Welcome to The Informant, the podcast that talks about anything and everything. We cover from sports, religion, politics, social, you name it. I'm your host as ever, Doc McLeod. So without any further ado, let's delve right into it. My good people, I hope I find you well. Hoping you are living the best of your lives. Right, I've got some serious breaking news here. Zimbabwe is soon to cease to operate as a Republican nation. Yes, you heard me right. It's now going to start to operate as the Munhumutapa Empire. It's going to be official. It's unstoppable. It's already there. It's concluded. And what does this mean? It signifies the end of General Gouveia Constantine Nikadzino Dominic Chiwenga. The empire is built, the empire is standing, and the empire is unshakable the way it has been structured. Let me go straight to you. For I know I've been going round in circles, hearing all sorts of things. But now let me tell you exactly how this was done, where it is and where it stands. Right. General Chiwenga's support structure within the security forces was expertly decapitated. It was expertly decapitated by the sitting president, Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. All the loyalists of General Chiwenga, they were removed from strategic positions and replaced with ED's own faithfuls. Either number one, they were fired, number two, demoted, number three, eliminated, and some even went on to meet the darker fates of life. It's a process that has been going, but was fast-tracked without people noticing. General Ezayi Monyo died under the suspicious circumstances in 2021. I'm coming to all these people, and I'll tell you how all these people have been sidelined and why the new Munhumutapa is unstoppable. Let me start by this. It all started with the 2017 coup, which was actually backboned by General Constantine Gouveia Dominic Nikadzino Chiwenga. He is the man touted to have been the muscle behind the removal of the untouchable late president of Zimbabwe, Robert Gabriel Mugabe. Chiwenga actually had to sit down, strategize, and because of his military connections and the time he had served within the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, he actually held keys to the decision that was going to be made over Robert Mugabe, as everyone knew, I would want to assume. So in 2017, the coup happened. Now with the generals gone, Chiwenga had to be there to make sure that the ZDF is actually in full force to support the incoming of Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. Straight promotion of Chiwenga to vice president. It looked like it was a promotion, but that was a quick move by ED in making sure that he has paralyzed Dominic Nikadzino Chiwenga, because he had managed to move him away from the barracks, from the military, and seeing to it that he is now being touted as the vice president and a gentleman's agreement to say he will take over after maybe 2 terms as the agreement from what I heard. But that was a smart move by Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the sitting president, because he knew that he had managed to get his men from the influence or the containment of the barracks by giving him what looked like a promotion of a vice president. The disempowerment of Chiwenga from the barracks command, removing him from the direct command of the military, was the first architectural move by Comrade Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. Then we have Parents Shiri. He was the retired air marshal. Also, because he was part and parcel of the people that ran the coup or organized the coup or were the strategists of the coup, he was also removed from the Air Force of Zimbabwe, and he was made to be the Minister of Agriculture under the Tumvudza project, in case you know about it or you don't know about it. All these look like promotions, but they were never promotions. Those were all smart moves by the sitting president because of his political intelligence. Continue to listen and I'll tell you everything. Right. Sibusiso Moyo, who was the chief air marshal making the announcement for the coup when Mugabe was being removed. He looked like he was being promoted to foreign affairs minister. You see, all these people were being moved from the barracks straight away soon after. It means to say, as much as they articulated the removal of Robert Gabriel Mugabe, the sitting president was smarter than them. He outsmarted them by pretending to be promoting them into ministerial position as like an appreciation or favor into notable offices. Little did they know that they were being moved away from the barracks. Then we have the Major General Anselm Sanyatwe. He was the commander of the Presidential Guard. Don't forget that. Out of the army, he was moved out of the army into a diplomatic post as ambassador. So that's another one that has been moved. So you see, the people that commanded the ZDF, the people that commanded the army, the intelligence, the Presidential Guard, were all given ministerial positions. Little did they know that they were being moved from the power of the barracks. So these people, I can rightfully say that they were moved out of the out of the uniform into civilian roles. And as much as they felt appreciation or being appreciated, ED was actually making sure that his ground was being covered and covered very fast. All this was sending ambition. All during this time, all the people that were close to General Chiwenga and were showing ambitiousness into positions, they were being moved abroad or being neutralized into other areas, praising them with one hand while he's defaming them with another. That's exactly what was happening when all this was being articulated. Within a space of 6 months, Parents Shiri, he died in July 2020, and within a very short period of time, 6 months different, we also saw the death of Foreign Minister Sibusiso Moyo in January 2021. Both are said to have died from COVID. Not a problem. Let's move on. These were the close allies of Comrade Chiwenga. His camp was then weakened. ED's camp grew stronger. In that process, it never stopped, but it started to excel very fast. Why? Because ED was using his strategy cleverly and quickly, making sure that all the gaps were covered and plugged. Even Chiwenga himself came close to being removed. You know the incident, the suspicious poisoning that was in the mid 2019s, right? Initially, there was an attempt, the bomb attempt at the White City Hall. To those who don't know or those who remember, if you recall, all these were elements to try and make sure that everyone who's so ambitious to a position is eliminated and the Munhumutapa project is put in place. Chiwenga's allies, they vanished one by one. They were vanishing through a system of either being paged, or either his people were being paged, or all his loyalists were being removed tactically, both in the military and in the government. As we continued in 2019, whilst Chiwenga was abroad for treatment, 4 senior generals were retired from their positions within the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. All 4 were given diplomatic posts abroad. Just imagine being removed from the military and being given diplomatic posts abroad. It's a way of getting rid of you in a softer kind of way, so that the military remains unstructurable, so that they will know who to place, where, and how, who to remove by giving them what they purported to be a promotion. So the other 4 generals were given diplomatic positions abroad, and the 4 most powerful, end of the 4, the most powerful general by then was General Sanyatwe. I will come to this man. I want you to listen to it, why he is where he is now. The most powerful general, General Sanyatwe, was sent off to Tanzania. Others, Major General Douglas Nyikayaramba and Vice Air Marshal Shepard Shumbayawonda, they were also moved out on diplomatic positions. Chiwenga's support structure within the security forces was expertly decapitated, meaning to say all his people were now moved, eliminated from what we call the system, which is the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. All loyal to Chiwenga were removed from the strategic positions and replaced with ED's faithfuls. Like I said, it's either they were fired, demoted, eliminated, and some, even like I said before, they went on to meet the darker fates of life, meaning to say they passed on. Right, the general Edzai Chimonyo died under suspicious circumstances, and I remember that was in 2021. If my memory serves me right, that was in 2021. The method that was being used was methodically strategized to make sure that everything is going and unrelented for it to be traceable. Listen, politics is politics. It will never change. By 2020, Chiwenga's pillars were already neutralized. Now I want us to look at the role of Kudakwashe. The role of Kudakwashe has become so fast, and it's become so popular, and it has become so influential. In 2025, Comrade Tagwire's charitable foundation made a well-publicized donation to General Sanyatwe's family. I want you to start to take note of this. And we are talking about somebody not in Harare, but Tagwire, the oil billionaire magnate, is seen going to a remote corner of Zimbabwe where he's making public donations to the Sanyatwe family. Sanyatwe's wife, in case you don't know her, she's an honorable member of parliament. Her name is Shilo Sanyatwe. She's a member of parliament for Nyanga North. During her campaign within the church structures, there was a time Kudakwashe's foundation, Bridging the Gap, donated groceries, funded new boreholes for the constituencies. General Sanyatwe was seen lavishly praising Kudakwashe's contributions after all these acts. Why was he contributing to all this? Let me explain it to you so that I don't leave you assuming. General Sanyatwe is known and has always been known to be Comrade Chiwenga's right-hand person, in case people didn't know. Now let me break it open so that you know why I say that M31 movement is dead and buried and never to resurrect again. General Sanyatwe is known to be a Chiwenga loyalist, a Chiwenga right-hand person. His confidee, everything that the Vice President Chiwenga was doing, he knew that the remaining steward that he had was General Sanyatwe after everyone else was gone. So the power within General Chiwenga, the retired Army General Constantine Guvea Dominic Chiwenga, was all anchored on Sanyatwe because he was his steward. He knew with Sanyatwe they would do things. He knew with Sanyatwe they were powerful. So Sanyatwe became the hingeman to whoever was going to be in power between the two divides, either the Mnangagwa side or the Chiwenga side. So Sanyatwe became the driving force and the deciding factor. Now here is Sanyatwe being given donations by Kudakwashe. I don't know how the retired Army General Constantine Guvea Dominic Chiwenga is thinking right now. Everything that he has been planning, thinking that he's going to outclass and outmaster the boss, Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, it has just made the whole system to be broken because he's a right-hand person, his confidee, his trusted cadre, and the one he was anchoring on for support, only to realize that now he had lost long his friend, privately and in secret, to the sitting president. Henceforth, Kudakwashe is coming public, giving him donations to prove to the retired general, to the retired General Constantine Guvea Chiwenga that he are no longer with Sanyatwe, he is now ours. What does it mean? It means to say retired Army General Constantine Guvea Chiwenga is now a lone man. He is now a commander without an army. That's what it means. So this M31, you just need now to bury it. You need to buy a coffin and put it right into the grave and bury it and forget about it again. This was the turning point and this was the deciding factor. Chiwenga is now powerless, period. You cannot argue about that. Because what he thought he was and who he thought he was with, all of them has evaded him. The Sanyatwe general was the anchoring point to the decisions that were all going to be made. It is not foolish. He was sitting, making sure that we have won this man, but we don't have his hands, we don't want any of his hands within the ZDF. We have to keep him close, and we have to give him again another position outside of the military so that they finish restructuring the military the way they wanted. Henceforth, you see somebody gotten from the CIO right into the army. As much as there's a bit of tensions here and there, but everything is now aligned. I can rightfully tell you from information that has been said to me, ED is now holding 75% of the ZDF and its effect. You can write this down. He is now holding 75% of the ZDF. As much as it is that figure, which other people might not be happy about. Listen, the remaining 25 are seeing to it that they cannot pursue a fight against the dominating force. Henceforth, with time, they are now going to trickle back and join. The 75 will come to 76, 76 to 77, 77 to 78. And it keeps increasing because they have seen that they are losing the battle. The once mighty general support is either now purged, co-opted, or deceased. He has been neutralized, and I don't see him coming out of this, if I want to be very honest. Chiwenga's plot to mount any challenge has been destroyed, utterly destroyed. A general without an army in the corridors of power, that's what he now stands to be. I can tell you that the strategy is finalized. The strategy is implemented. The 2030 vision is going to be pursued from what I have now been told. In conclusion, Zimbabwe is now being turned, or has already been turned, just about to be officiated on through the national media. Zimbabwe is now Munhumutapa state. They are just going to be run and ruled like the Eswatini, where it's a kingdom. Interesting. Timothy Kiminya, who is the head of the Munhumutapa, that man grew in my father's house, under our roof. I'm not talking about somebody I'm looking for from somewhere. Timothy Kiminya, ndisekuru wangu. He grew under my father's roof. My father was the IT manager, the data processing manager for the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. So for that guy used to live under our roof. I know everyone from the days of Dr. Kombo Moyana, Gideon Gonos. All of them, they have come and they have gone. I have seen all of them. I have known all of them. I have met all of them. Chief Kiminya, Sekuru Timothy Kiminya, is now going to be the head of the kingdom, the Munhumutapa Kingdom. With this, I leave you with things to chew. The position is untenable, and the nation is being transformed and changed into a kingdom. Let me hear your comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will be bringing you now more in-depth information pertaining to the next step within the Zimbabwe government and the kingdom of Munhumutapa. Have a good day.